Our next student is Jenny Cumbie. Jenny, I think if I recall right, is a Meade graduate. Do I have that right? All right, good. My mind's working. She's also a student. She's also a mother. She is going to pursue a nursing degree, and she has, I guess, an academic excellence of a grade point of 3.84. So she has a wonderful story to share. So Jenny, thank you.
Just to clarify, after this quarter, it will be a 4.0. I had a 3.3 on there from 1996. That was not acceptable. So I have retaken that course and I have remedied that. Let me just put it that way. Okay.
On the record.
Yeah. So like I said earlier, I was a Running Start student back in 1996 while I was attending Meade High School. I thought at that point in time that I really wanted to be an accountant. I found that really fascinating. I love numbers. And life kind of took a turn, and I got married and worked in retail management for years and years, started a family, and I did work in a medical office for a couple years in pediatrics here in town, and it kind of sparked something in me, and I realized I really liked medical. And shortly after that, my first child was born, and everything was going great. And right as she was approaching her third birthday, I was pregnant with my second child, only weeks away from my due date, and my oldest was diagnosed with leukemia. So she was diagnosed with what they call acute lymphoblastic leukemia, which is highly treatable, but requires about 2.5 years of chemotherapy. So obviously all plans were put on hold at that point, and my focus was to take care of her. So 4 weeks later, her little sister was born, and was immediately sent to the NICU for an infection. And so I had 2 sick kids at the hospital, and I'd had an emergency C-section, so I was in a wheelchair. And throughout all of that, we were treated so well, particularly by the nursing staff. You know, you talk about doctors and the importance of the decisions they make and the care that they provide. However, it's the nurses that are there that you have the most interaction with. So my daughter went through chemotherapy, was put in remission, and had a great prognosis. We were approaching the first anniversary of her being off treatment. We were 10 days away, and her little sister was diagnosed as well. So this time it was much harder. We knew what we were in for. There was no thoughts about, maybe this will be easy. We knew exactly what was, laid ahead of us. And so we trudged down that same path again as for a second time, and I'm really happy to say both my children are healthy now. My oldest is 4.5 years post-treatment, and my youngest is about 1.5 years out of chemo right now. So in the end, I realized that accounting was not my thing, that I wanted to provide the same level of care that I received here in town at Sacred Heart, and I knew that I could do it. I was the kind of person that was terrified at the sight of blood, would never want to go into a hospital setting, and I was running IV pumps at home and doing things that, normal parents don't do. But the choice was given to me, well, you can do this at home, we can train you, or you can stay in the hospital. And I said, send us home, I'll do it. So this last winter, I enrolled as a new student, and I am so happy to be here. I am currently taking microbiology, and I love it, and I'm taking OChem next quarter. So I do have all 4.0 since I've started back in school, and I'm just so happy to be here. And I was sharing with some of the board members earlier that one of the most wonderful things about being a parent and being a student at the same time is inspiring my children. And that's not something I really considered when I went to school, when I registered to come back, is sharing that joy with them, my love of science, my love of education. And they're so inspired by me, and I know that they go to school and they say, Mom, I told my friends how smart you are, and you're gonna be the best nurse. And I really encourage that, because I feel like as they approach those teenage years, that could be to my benefit. But for instance, today I took some microscopes to my daughter's classroom. She's in 4th grade, and we did a presentation on microbiology. And just to see the excitement in their faces and to help them explore the world around them and realize, that these organisms are all over in our environment, and it was just wonderful. And in addition to going to school, I'm also tutoring now in the science department over at SEC, and that has been a huge blessing. It's also inspiring, especially I think the younger students who are a little insecure, and I've realized that being a tutor is not just teaching material, but it's instilling confidence in these students that they can do it. Because I think there's a stigma attached to math and sciences. These are difficult subjects, but these kids are smart and they can do it. And so I'd just like to thank Associated Industries for helping me get back to school, because as you can imagine, the medical bills were astronomical. We're still paying them off. So this has been a huge blessing, has made it possible for me to be here and to go to school, and in turn inspire my children and other students here. So thank you very much.